Hey, thanks, Jax. Oh man, I get so jacked every time I get to jump on here. August snuck up on us. I feel like July was probably one of the fastest months of the entire year for me. It was filled with a lot of things, and when you're living life, creating life, time seems to just kind of speed up, and that's how I felt July went for me. Real quick though, anybody that wants to connect, just drop this in here for you really quick. If you haven't seen it before, if you haven't been on one of these calls and this is your first Mindset Monthly with me, my name is Pruitt. I'm the founder of Growth Guide Co. I've been on with MFM since the very beginning. Love this network, love this company, love MFCP, love Tyler, Ryan and Todd, the founders, and just everything that this is about. It's a blessing. It's a huge blessing in my life to be able to spend time with them, with the companies, and with the network. You guys are family, and it literally is my pleasure every single time I get to jump on this call every month and just rub shoulders in general with all of you and all of them. So you can connect with me on Instagram. You can connect with me on the Daily Drip via the MFM podcast. I'm one of the hosts on the MFM podcast Monday through Thursday. We're talking mindset, principles, tactics, and strategies to help you grow and amplify your impact in your life. You can catch me there every Monday through Thursday. And then I also have a free weekly newsletter that I send out. Again, the goal is to help you grow and amplify your impact in your life and in your business. Each week I share one idea, one better question, and one lesson learned from other impactful leaders throughout the course of history, current and past. And you can jump on, subscribe there on Instagram. There should be a direct link in my bio. And again, that's just free weekly in your inbox. So I wanted to start with the story tonight. I was driving in my hometown on the back roads. I live up on a bluff. I live up on like a hill, and my home overlooks agriculture land. And there's a lot of farms and horse properties. And there's like the nice area, and then there's like the not so nice area, and it's over by the fairgrounds. And I took a loop down past the not so nice area to down and past the fairgrounds, and there's this property that I've seen before. It's just run down, garbage kind of strewed everywhere, and there's a bunch of horses in this corral, and it's a small corral. Well, when I drive past it the other day, I look over and there is this giant horse, looked like a Clydesdale. I'm not Ryan Woolley, so I don't know all the different types of breeds of horses and everything else, but this horse was ginormous, okay? Like muscles bulging. It was like Brock Lesnar of horses. That's what this horse was. And it's sitting on top of this hill. And so as I drive past, I nudge my wife. I'm like, holy shit, did you see the size of that horse? And she was like, yeah, my word, that is a giant horse. And I was like, yeah, it's so beautiful, like so big. And there were all these other horses kind of like down underneath below it, below this hill that it was sitting on, just like this little hill, this little mound of dirt. But what struck me even more than the horse was it was sitting on top of this mound of dirt, and the corral was very small. It seemed like it was as big as the corral itself. And there was a fence keeping these horses in that was like 3 feet high. And while this horse was standing on this mound of dirt, it was higher than the fence. And the fence had to have been 3 to 5 feet away from this mound of dirt. And across the street is this giant, beautiful field of alfalfa. Huge. Like I'm talking acres and acres of alfalfa. And I just thought, like, how crazy is that? There's this giant, strong, like beautiful animal who I'm sure its strength and like the possibilities of what it could do are infinite. Like, and it's stuck inside this corral. It's stuck because it's been told through behavior modification and just the other horses and trainers or whatever that like this is where you live. Like this is what you do. This is how you navigate life. This is how these are how things function. And I just thought about that comparison to us as people, right? Like our potential truly is infinite. There is data to back that up. And, opportunity literally is everywhere in this world, more than ever, really. And I just want you guys to know that like the purpose of why we meet here within the network is to continuously enhance our vision, which essentially is our belief system, right? That we do have infinite potential. We can tap deeper and deeper into that potential every single day, every single week, every single month. Possibilities are everywhere. Opportunity is endless. And our job as we come here to gather is, again, to enhance our vision, enhance our process, enhance our mindset so that we can go grow and amplify our impact in our missions, in our purpose. And I want you guys to remember something from the story, and that is that attitude precedes outcome, right? That was that was the thing that kept repeating in my mind as I drove home. I started thinking of you guys. I started thinking about my mission and my purpose and the responsibility that I've taken to help people grow and amplify their impact. And I just thought, man, like if we only truly knew how important it is, we dial our attitudes and our belief systems in so that we can go out and produce the outcomes that we know we're capable of. And so just remember that, right? Is attitude precedes outcome. This is a quote from actually Carol Dweck. This is not my quote. Carol Dweck is the author of Mindset. Many of you were sent a copy of Mindset in your Mindset box when you first came on as a mentorship student. And this quote comes from that book, and it says that mindsets are just beliefs. They're powerful beliefs, but they're just something in your mind, and you can change your mind. That big black stallion, he has not, he, I don't know if it was male or female, but whatever it is, it looked like a male for sure. I mean, that thing was like just boom, huge. Okay. It just hasn't changed its mind. It hasn't changed its mind. It's still there with all this potential that's untapped and will probably continue to be untapped. And if we aren't careful, we can live our lives that exact same way. Right? And our job really isn't even to live our life. Our job is to go out and create our life. There's a big difference there. And I think even just verbiage like that in terms of mindset changes everything, right? Just like we talked about language, and that's kind of a segue into some follow-up from last month, but language is so crucial. We're told to figure out a way to go out and live your best life. Well, the truth is, in order to live your best life, you have to adopt the belief and live in the reality that you get to decide how that all looks and you create it all. And our corral that we grew up in school or in our homes or in society, a lot of the times that isn't the narrative, right? We're kind of pushed into these silos. We're kind of pushed into these lanes and then get stuck on these linear paths, and it's just not reality. That's not how it works, right? And so our job is to continue to recenter on the truth of the way things work in terms of growth and impact so that we can go out, put these things to practice, and again, enhance our vision, increase our belief in what's possible, and go out and create a reality of infinite potential and endless opportunity and solutions and never being stuck, because that is reality. Stuck is just a mindset. And so I want to do some follow-up really quick from last month before we dive into this month's topic, actionable, and everything that we have planned. Last month, we talked about leadership and language, right? We talked about leadership and language, and there were two realizations that I wanted to share with you guys that I have had through the work that I do and my own personal experience, not just the work I do, but through my own personal experience, because those two things are interconnected, right? The work we do and the people we serve and our own personal experience, there's a through line there, like it's all interconnected. And so again, this isn't just a realization I had through working with people and compiling data. This is a realization I had because I came to this realization myself through other people, other leaders helping me. And that is that this work that you are doing, this mission that you are on, your purpose, right? It's not about you, but it so easily can become about you. It can so easily become about us. So much of what we do, we can get stuck in this mentality, this selfish mentality. And it just kind of happens if we lose consciousness, if we stray a little too far away from the principles that work and produce, right? And so a couple things that we covered were that leadership means that you take 100% of the responsibility 100% of the time for your life. Again, leadership is taking 100% of the responsibility 100% of the time in your life. That is a mindset, right? A mindset of leadership. And a proper definition of leadership is your ability or one's ability to enroll people into a bigger vision than what they believe is possible on their own. And something that we did, and I'm going to come to it here in just a second because I want to hear some of your experiences that you had, was thinking of a person, somebody that's shown up in the course of your life and helped you believe in something more than what you originally thought was possible, right? Somebody who enrolled you in a vision that was bigger than what you thought was possible at the time and literally changed the trajectory of your life, right? That is a leader. And I'm going to follow up here in just a second on that action one. I want to hear from you. The second, so that was the first realization. The second realization was around language. And the realization was that your life is just a byproduct of the stories you tell yourself. Language truly is the fundamental element of creation. We talked about creation at the very beginning, right? Your job is to create your life. And if you can't dial your language in, how hard is it going to be for you to create the life you truly want? It's going to be super hard. You have to increase your vocabulary. You have to enhance your vocabulary inside here and outside, right? And the truth is, you are the author of your own story. You're writing it. And the other truth here that's tied into all of this is that your life is just made up of these stories that you choose to believe. We started with belief, we started with creation, but this all ties in. And so again, your life is just a byproduct of the story. So what is the story you're telling yourself about your life, about your situation that you are currently in? And there was an actionable tied to all of this. So I wanted to follow up with that and kind of spend some time here for just a quick second at the beginning. Those of you who followed through, those of you who identified whoever that leader was for you, let's come back to leadership, right? Who that leader was for you, your job was to reach out and thank that person. I made the high recommendation of giving them a phone call, writing them a letter, right? Bypassing some of these easier methods of just sending an email or a text, making it a little more personal, connecting at a little bit of a higher level. And then the second part to that was to go out and be that person for somebody else. So I would love to hear from the group, any of you who followed through, right, on this actionable. How was that experience? Can you share your experience with the group? I see a couple hands. If you want to throw them up, I see people throwing their hands up, but if you want to hit the button so Jackson can identify, there's so many people on here. That way, if you can, yep, there we go. Yeah, Angie, go ahead.
Sure. So I've been in education for 25 years. I'm an assistant superintendent in a small urban district. And my path was decided for me while I was still in the classroom. I had a leader who came to me and saw something in me that I didn't see in me. And she helped me to step out of my comfort zone and to try something new. And I ended up going into administration. And then now I'm at the district level. And I was talking, I called her and said, you were my lighthouse person. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but Steve Pembleton, I think his name is, wrote a book called The Lighthouse Effect. And it really is talking about how there's, lighthouses are always in the most difficult spots in the ocean, right? They help to bring in ships to shore. And they never know the impact they have on the ship because it goes by them and they go on their merry way. So that's how these people are for us. They may not know the impact they have on our lives and how they help shape where we're going. So it's really important to reach back and say thank you and, just let them know the value that they brought to you.
Thank you so much. And it's Angie, right?
Yeah, Angie, yep.
Yeah, we've got another one. I'm going to come to the next one, Jax. I know you see that too. But really quick, something that I want you guys to think about as we kind of lean into the next story here that's going to be shared is, the impact of the impact. You just brought that up, right? Like that is a thought worth sitting in when it comes to growth, doing your best work, creating your best life, creating an impact, amplifying that impact is to think about the impact, right? We think so much about the impact the work we're doing has on someone. We don't think enough about the impact that impact on that person has. It's exponential. It changes everything exponentially. That is mind-blowing. That is humbling. And I think it's definitely worth thought on a regular basis for all of you who want to continue to grow as leaders in this space and just the space of life is like, what does the impact of that impact? What is the impact of that impact? Go ahead. I see a hand up there. Go ahead. Oh, King.
I'm unmuting myself. I'm unmuting myself. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries, man.
So this is the first time I've ever been on with you. So Dallas, nice to meet you. And I honestly, what was your name again? I hear you every single time.
Jackson.
Jackson, there you go. Thank you, Jackson.
Yeah.
I hear you guys every day. I'm a part of the drip and I love you guys and you guys are amazing. But yeah, you're just this multifamily mindset. I was like, that's a really good name.
That's a good name.
But, right. But first time here on this one, we just recently actually started the elite mentorship with my dad. I actually went to the Phoenix 3-day event where Tyler taught in Phoenix in December. And then I was so amped up and so on fire and talked about it so much. My dad ended up going to the 3-day event and the 3-day event and signed up to the elite one just now and said, hey, you should be my business partner. And I said, awesome. I like that. I can do that. So the actionable about thinking person and being that person, right? There's been so many times in my life where someone, I think that's one thing, having mentors, truncating and shortening the, how to be successful is, having someone show you the way. And I actually was part of an EQ, emotional quotient leadership event and program that actually, teaches you how to let go of your past and how to understand it and how to reframe things and, stop, again, being 100% responsibility 100% of the time. They very much preach that. They say you can't be a leader. You can't be someone who makes an impact if you're always passing the buck. So they said it. And one of my dear friends that I'm still in touch with all the time, he pestered me for about 3 months. Said, hey, I really think this could help you. I really think this would be great. I really think, this would be good for you. And so we finally signed up, me and my wife, and went through the whole program with him. And at the very end of it, when we actually, because there was multiple steps, it's the beginning and the intermediate, advanced and so forth. When me and my wife both graduated, we actually came out to dinner and thanked him so much and said, that was so powerful, so insightful, and meant so much to us. I mean, we literally can't thank you enough. We can't tell you how much it's meant to us. And he cried and he was all emotional and said, that's what I'm doing it for, just to, unlock people's potential and take the handcuffs off from their past, because so many times you're handcuffed to some stuff that you thought, or whatever, all your past garbage. So, I can tell you, and that wasn't the only times in my life. There's been lots of times, but just sharing that with him, it made him be that much more excited to reach out and help other people as well, and to continue being that loving, amazing person that he is. So,
love it. Thank you so much. What was your name again? I didn't catch the name at the beginning.
Well, I got Keen Luke on there. But that's a big, long story. My name's Bobby.
Bobby, nice to meet you, Bobby.
Nice to meet you
man.
too.
Appreciate it. Yeah, there's so much to unpack when it comes to this specific actionable and just the impact that your impact on someone is going to have, right? Like the impact of the impact. And I think Tyler really summed it up really well. I don't know if anybody caught this. This is a little plug-in to be able to go watch. If any of you are struggling with capital raising, right? Like Tyler just launched an awesome breakdown on YouTube. And in it, he talks about feeling stressed that you need to enroll people, right, into a deal. Like you have to find people. And it's flipping that, right? Like there's so much value that you have as a person to give to others. There's so many things you have, so much opportunity, that it's our responsibility as leaders to go out and enroll other people in those things, right? Like that's leadership. It's not a mentality of like, oh man, I hope I can figure out the secret, the combination to like get these people coming in. It's like, no, I believe 1,000 billion% in what I have in terms of value, that I have no other option but to go out and enroll other people in this, because it will change their life. It will change their life. And that really is leadership, right? And it's going to be really difficult to succeed in multifamily, in investing, in growing your portfolio and your impact that portfolio will have on the lives of other people, right? Like if you don't believe it at that level, if you don't lead out at that level. And so we can tie this into everything. But again, leadership, dialing that language in, these two things are so crucial. And again, these two realizations, it's not about you and your life is just a byproduct of the stories you tell yourself, right? Like these are things that we have to continuously hone in on progressively as we continue down our path. And then the other actionable, and we're not gonna have time to dive into this part, but just kind of a reiteration here is, the invite was to pick up a pen and write a new story of what's possible for yourself, for your team, for your mission, for the impact that you are going to have and are having on this world, in your market, right? Like with your team, with your family, like going into all the specific details there. And then the last part to that sequence was then just go live into it. Go live into it. Attitude precedes outcome. And so dialing that stuff in and then going out and living into it via action, and not staying stuck thinking about how awesome that would all be, but going out with patience and perseverance to chip away step by step at living into whatever that story is, right? These things are crucial. And then I just wanted to reiterate here, I kind of ended last month and just wanted to bring it back into focus, is life is constantly questioning you guys all the time. It's questioning me. It's questioning all of you. It's questioning all of us. Like, what are we going to write next? What are we going to be a leader? Are we going to do something about all of this, right? Are we going to use the proper language and speak powerfully? Or are we going to sit and ask more questions and ask why when things don't go perfectly, and ask why not, why did this happen to me? And why didn't I get that opportunity? And, it's asking us all the time, daily, hourly, even, it's asking us. And that's why honing in and increasing our competency regarding the process, the principles that produce better outcomes. That's why these things are so crucial, is because that's how constant life will ask you these, will question you. It is literally hourly. It will question you. And you have to have your belief system dialed in. You have to have your systems dialed in. You have to have your processes dialed in. You have to have your mindset dialed in. You have to have your belief dialed in. Like all these things have to be dialed in, because that's the incessant nature of life. The one guarantee is constant change, constant challenge. Opposition will surmount. When you decide to take on your goals, when you decide to create and not just live, I promise you, life will be incessant. Opposition will surmount. And the cool thing about it is you continuously dial these things in, you get better. Life doesn't get any easier. You just get better. You just get better and better and incrementally better. And that's how it works. So anyways, I just wanted to kind of reiterate that here. Now we're going to move into August. That's our review from last month. Just wanted to follow up with those actionables. That's part of the purpose of these calls, is to make sure that we're taking action on these things, not just sitting here talking about them. We want to weaponize you so that you can grow, so that you can increase your impact, so that you can make your mark on the lives of the people you love on this world, and ultimately create, and never be stuck, and live within that type of belief system and that mindset, because it's going to be a requisite for you to be able to do everything that you know you're capable of. Question. This is going to be a deep dive question before we lock in on some stuff tonight. And that is, I want to know, and this is this is loaded, and I literally want to hear as much as we possibly can within like a 5-minute segment here, and that is, why are you here? And I mean here as in MFM, right? Like all of us on this call, we're a part of the mentorship program. We're a part of the network. We obviously share common goals, common aims. But I want to know on a personal level, there is no right or wrong. I would like to hear from everybody for a second. Throw those hands up and please share. Like, why MFM? Why here? Why now? All that good stuff. Okay, there's a couple already. Jackson, if you just want to call them as you see them.
Yeah, go ahead, Michael. You're first. All
I
good.
think you're muted.
It's all good. I think they're taking care of it.
There we go.
Oh, there we
Got
go.
it.
Sweet.
So I'm Marianne. This is my son, Michael. We both went together in Denver. In a nutshell, my mom's 81. She just turned 81 a week ago. I want to make sure that she stays with me all the way to the end. I want to make sure that she's taken care of. She's done a great deal for me. She's a beautiful, beautiful spirit, extraordinarily positive, and I want to give her the absolute best. And for my 17, soon to be 18-year-old, I want to give him a legacy and together to build an empire and then give back to the invisible people out there that nobody ever seems to notice, but we do.
Oh, I freaking love all that. And that last part literally just like,
Yeah,
like
so
oh,
important
man.
to us.
I share that same aim. That is,
Yep.
Oh man. Thank you for sharing. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Let's go through a few more.
Go ahead. Is it Jace?
Yeah, Jace.
Go ahead, man.
Well, for me, I'm only 22, but I got a little family of my own. Both my parents are going through cancer, so I don't know what the future's gonna look like for them or for us. But I'd love to find a way to make myself and my family financially free, as well as my parents who have helped me out tremendously in life. So that's kind of my goal. Definitely help those around me, as well as my in-laws have helped me out a ton as well. And being them, their footsteps came from Mexico, and a lot of my family as well. So a lot of my family kind of came from nothing, and I kind of want to be that person that builds us something, builds us a legacy, builds us that that generational wealth that nobody has in the past. So that's kind of my why, I guess, as to why I'm here. But yeah, I attended in Boise, Idaho, and I'm only week 3 or 4 now, so not too far in. But definitely happy, excited, and ready to go. So.
Oh man, thanks for sharing. That is not kind of a why. That is like as why as it gets, man. So thank you for sharing with the group. I appreciate it so much. Remind me your name again.
Jace.
Jace. Good to meet you.
You as
Couple
well.
more.
Joe, go ahead.
Dallas, I've been listening to you every morning, man. Absolutely amazing stuff, brother. I appreciate you and Jackson tremendously. So I know loss, man. I shouldn't be here right now. I'm being called by God to do something absolutely a lot more tremendous than what I'm supposed to be doing or what I'm doing now. I have 3 little ones. I want to make sure they have a legacy, and I want to be that mentor. I want them to see that their father can go through something so tremendously crazy and then step up and just knock it out of the park. I want to be able to go and any veteran that's in my situation and just better their situation, man. I want to build a parkour course out here for my kids and in the area that I'm at in Kuna, Idaho. Chase, you're in Boise, so we should connect. But I want to build a parkour course out here in Kuna, Idaho for all the kids out here that are running and jumping around on the streets, man, and just having an amazing time. And I want to just give back as much as I possibly can. So
good.
that's what I'm here.
Gosh, I should have thought this question out before I asked it in terms of what we're doing tonight. You guys are going to touch my feelings too hard, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through this sucker. So let's keep going through a few more.
Buckle up, Dallas. You did this to yourself.
I mean, geez, I was trying to set some stuff up, and we're definitely going to get to it, but let's go through a few more.
Jesse, go ahead. Don't have your camera on, but if you want to mute your mic, go ahead. There you go. Oh, we still can't hear you.
No.
Oh, there we go.
Can you hear me?
Now we can.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, so sorry about that. So I'm not sure if you can still see me now. I'm on my cell phone.
Yeah, we
but-
can see you.
Oh, so I can't see what I look like, so just
You
excuse
look
me.
great. You look great.
I'm a little under the weather, but I'm touched because I'm like a lot of other people that are on here. My why is a lot for my kids and my family. My father was diagnosed with Alzheimer's last year, so I've been like his full-time caregiver. I was doing it for other people. I have 5 kids, and so I'm always busy, and I'm always trying to find the time. Taking care of myself and taking care of everybody else, and always having to be tied down to a job is like so complicated when everybody needs something. So being able to have the biggest financial freedom and to be able to help my parents and get my kids into all the sports that they want to do is definitely a top priority.
So good. Remind me your name one more time.
Jesse.
Jesse.
Yes.
Jesse,
Thank
Jace. We got lots of J's tonight. Thank you
Yes.
for sharing. And you look great.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's go a few
Awesome.
more.
Yeah, go ahead. It just says iPhone, unfortunately, as your name. I can't see your name, but go ahead. White t-shirt, bun on your head, if you want to go ahead and speak.
Yes,
Yep,
you.
yes, go ahead. Looks like you're still muted. If you can unmute yourself, go ahead.
Aloha.
There we go. Aloha.
Nice to
Hi.
meet you.
Kekai, I'm on Oahu. Actually, honestly, I was just led to this space when I came in December on Oahu. I just felt the confirmation that this is where I need to be. I've been in the single family space, and it's just not my jam. I see that we're affecting families, not just my own family, but many. And our partnership has been talking about just changing the narrative of how many doors we want, but just how many families we want to affect. And I'm a mother of 4 children, so and they're all under 12. So it's a busy life, but I love them so much. And I just want to change the direction. I'm changing the script for generations. I'm not just affecting me. I'm not affecting just these people that are right within my tangible reach, but generations. And that's what I think of, and eternally as well. So I'm totally here.
Oh man. Well, remind me your name again.
Hikai.
Hikai. Did I just say it right?
Hikai,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, great to meet you. I hear, we weren't going to get to everybody else, but it's like this common theme, right? Of like the impact that the impact's going to have. And these whys are deep. You know, I relate to all of you in some way to kind of dive into the last, right, story shared. Like I have 4 kids under the age of 12 myself. I got an 11, 9, 5, and a 1-year-old, you know, and I mean, from story to story, it's just like this boom, 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 boom. You see yourself in everybody, right? I want to go through, before I dive into what I want to kind of segue into with all this, let's go, oh man, like I just want to adjust and like just kind of roll this. But unfortunately, I do believe it's important to get through some of these things too. So let's go like 2 or 3 more. Let's go like 2 or 3 more.
I'm just going to go with the first 2 that raised their hand the quickest. So Eric, you go ahead, and then Lily, you go ahead, and then Rick, will have you be the last one.
Hey, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for letting me speak. And really just the sort of constant is the legacy thing. And, you know, I come from an immigrant family. I'm the firstborn here, thankfully. And I've just seeing the amount of work that my mother and father have put in here in the States, and not really having much to show for it after so many years. I really want to take a different approach than what my father did. And he had a lot of opportunities to invest in properties when he first came here at the same age that I did, and he didn't take them because he didn't want to take the risk. So I talked to him a lot about this, and I really want to be that change in my family as well. So yeah, thank you for letting me share that, guys.
Thank you so much. I want to drive something home on legacy there, because I think that's a definition that sometimes gets misconstrued, right? Like the legacy, like you just shared, is all of that. It's your posterity. It's the kids. It's the kids' kids. It's the properties and the safety and health and everything else that those things provide. It's not about you, right? It comes back to that first realization that that legacy is not about you. It's not about a statue. It's not about your name being engraved in stone. It's not about these documentaries that play over and over and over again on TV once you've left here, or on YouTube, or whatever the hell is existent when you're gone, whatever platforms exist. That's not what it's about. It's about those kids. It's about that safety. It's about that health. It's about all of that wealth. That is the legacy. That's the legacy. It's not you, your name, right? You're just one in 800 and whatever billion people that live on the face of planet Earth, or however many it is, 8 billion, whatever it is. I don't even know the number.
Yep. We're only here for a short period of time.
Absolutely. Making the most of it, creating as much impact as we possibly can. I love it. Okay, let's go 2 more, and then we'll get through.
Awesome. Lily, go ahead.
Hi guys, thank you so much for letting me speak. This is actually my first call. I recently joined this beautiful program, amazing program over the weekend. I was over at Orlando. I'm from Boston, by the way, so whoever's very close by, please connect with me.
Good.
So I'm gonna get to it. I know that you asked Dallas why we here, why with the MFM. Honestly, there's many other network out there, but I chose you guys for one reason, is that you guys really true to yourself, meaning each of individual of you guys I've so far I met, you guys really don't forget who you are, so you know where you're coming from, and that's where it's a big deal for me. I'm enjoying this, obviously, for all of us. It's for family. I do have 2 kids of my own, but mostly is I want to build a network. I want to carry on this passion of what I've been doing is giving back, not to worry about competitions or being compared to other people. You don't afraid of giving back, and that's what I guess I've been really looking for that all this time. I'm in the business as well. I'm helping other women in the industry to build their business wise. But I feel like there's always a cap. It's always been like a brick or wall between all of us. I feel like we're afraid to go beyond. But when I joined this, or so far I've went through the past 3 days, it just changed my mindset so much. And I'm really excited what you guys can provide all of us, but also for us to provide you guys as well, to carry on this passion, just giving back and grow a strong network to help each other out. And I really like that.
So good. Thank you for sharing. I love the words too. Again, like I'm on this language kick. I have been for a very long time, but like we use the word passion, right? Like legacy, we just drove that home, but passion, and like I can hear it in your voice. But I also believe that's what attracts a lot of people to MFM is passion, meaning love. I believe that the word passion equates to love, right? We get passionate about the things we love. And I can tell you this, I love people. When I'm on with you, I'm passionate because I love you. Right? And that feels good to say that. That feels good to say like, hey, I love you. I want you to succeed. I believe in you. Right? And I just want you all to understand like true definitions of certain words that we use that float around in the world of business, in the world of real estate, whatever. It's like passion equates love. If you are going to be passionate about something, or if you are passionate about something, that means you love that thing. And if there is one thing to love above and beyond everything else, I can promise you it's this. People. Love people. Strive to bring value to other people. That's how you create impact. You instill passion or build passion around people. Right? And we can bring value to people in lots of different ways. But at the furthest part of that root, that love is for people. That love is for people. Products come, opportunities come, all these things come, but you have to learn to love and build a love and a passion for people. Go ahead, Rick. You're our last guy.
Hey there. Why am I here? It's a safe, grounding place. And it's a place you can receive love, you can give love, you can receive accountability, you can give accountability. I know a lot. Before I ever got here, I'm just old enough that I've had a big career. But guess what? I come here to learn. And even when you think you know it all, guess what? AI comes along and everybody's learning about that, right? So there's to learn and to share. I come here to give and to receive value with like-minded people who are supportive, and I come here to lift up and to be lifted. Sometimes I'm discouraged. Sometimes I'm the one helping someone else who is discouraged. And I live in gratitude. And I think that's big for everybody. And if I had more time, I'd tell you about this green band that I'm taking off in 3 days after wearing it for 11 years. And it has to do with gratitude for the person that got me going in business 45 years ago. But
that sounds like a story you might have to share on a broad scale with everybody.
Yeah, well, someone died of cancer, and I've been honoring them ever since. And they're no longer here, so I can't thank them in person. But I thank them. I've been reviewing our. I don't want to take a lot of time, but just find ways to think about the people that brought you where you were and gave you an opportunity. I literally started in the mailroom, and this person, literally in the mailroom, and this person trusted and believed in me and sent me around the world, meeting with government officials on trade missions and dealing with billionaire industrialists and doing some big stuff. And it was because he believed in me and he knew that he could trust me. And so he's no longer here to thank. But I've been gleaning the last 11 years. I've been thinking about what I've learned from him. The day after tomorrow is the 10th anniversary of his death, or of when we put him to rest. So that's why I'm taking it off for all this time. And the next one is my mom. I'm not taking that one off for a while. She did have cancer. They both did have cancer. Anyway, Jace, you're in Boise. I'm in Boise, Idaho. Guess what, Joe? You're in Kuna, Idaho. I am in the southwest corner of Boise. I'm as close as you can get to Kuna in Boise. I love Kuna. So we got to connect. Thank you, Dallas. These are just so great. And I think I speak for the group. Don't feel like you have to end at 6. And you bring value. I look forward to these every month. If I don't want to miss any of them, but I certainly don't want to miss the monthly mindset. So keep going, bro.
Well, I'll tell you what, they're getting better and better because of you guys and the contribution you guys are bringing to the table with all the things you're sharing. Right? I think vulnerability is an important thing in business, and we have to bring that to the forefront, right? Like, we're all in this thing for very similar reasons. And sometimes we hide behind a facade. Sometimes we hide behind our ego, our pride, whatever it is, right? And at the end of the day, I believe that all of us are here because, and Rick, you kind of tied it all perfectly in full circle, is we're here for the same reason. We want to impact the lives of the people we love. We want to do more and be more, right? Or do better and be better for others. And we also want freedom to be able to do more of that. I believe that that's a big root of what we come here for. And all of us as human beings want is freedom. It's not money. Again, it's not notoriety. I think that those are things we hide behind because of insecurities. Those are things that are fake. They're facades. What we truly want is freedom. We want to love and be loved. And that's truth. And multifamily is an amazing vehicle to be able to do a ton of that. A ton. This network and this community they are vehicles to be able to do a ton of that. Limitless. Infinitely. During your time here, and again, I love the whole eternal thing. I'm a very God-fearing man, and I believe the same thing. There's not a lot of things we can take from here other than our experiences and the things we learn, the relationships we form. There's not a lot. And I just appreciate all you guys sharing all of those reasons why. And I encourage anybody, before we dive into the thick of stuff, deepen your bag of whys. You got to deepen your bag of whys. You got to time into things that produce long-term longevity, long-term growth, long-term impact, long-term success. Like, that's the goal. That is what we're striving for. And ironically enough, that's kind of what we're going to hone in on tonight, is the principle of striving, right? August, our focus is going to be around the process, knowing the process, loving the process, right? Like, at a deeper level, not just like, hey, love the process, right? Trust the process. Those are generic terms that are dropped a lot. And we want to dive into some specific details tonight. Again, to help you increase growth, to help you increase your impact, long-term, sustainable. We're working to create systems of sustainability. Not like, hey, this was cool. Can I get to the thing that I actually came here for? Was like, hey, can I do a deal? No, that's a rival. Like, we're not working to a point. It's not how it works. If you truly want to grow, if you truly want to have an impact, if you truly care about legacy, if you are passionate about people, there is no arrival. Weed that out of your mindset. Get rid of it. And I know there are a lot of people on this call tonight that still get stuck in that type of thinking. Again, that's the trap. That's what we're working to get rid of, right? We want to be free. We want to live trap free. We want to never be stuck. Well, we've got to be super conscious of the thoughts that creep into our minds, the belief system that's been instilled in us, and things that we need to change in order to be able to not be stuck, in order to grow, in order to make an impact. And here's one of the truths, right? Again, realizations, and working with thousands of people now over the course of my career in many different industries, from public education to product to sales to investing to myself, and all the data I've compiled personally and professionally. It all stacks up. The research proves this. Neurologically, biologically, the way we're wired, you were not built to arrive. You were built to strive. And that's why we are our happiest when we are doing just that. And so if you can get better at striving, that means that you increase your happiness. That means you increase your fulfillment. That means you increase your success in life. So again, how important is it to weed out the thought of I've got to get to a place? It's crucial. It's one of the most fundamental beliefs you have to change, weed out, get rid of. You are not going to be your happiest. You are not going to fix everything when you do a deal. You're not. Oh, when I get my business up and launched and I have hires and everything's functioning really well, like then finally I can breathe and I'll be happy. I fall into the trap all the time as a parent. Oh, when my 1-year-old, I have a 1-year-old, when he quits shitting his pants and I don't have to change his butt 3 times a day, life will be so much better. That thought creeps in. But I know what I know and I believe what I know because I've seen it produce increased success, increased happiness, increased fulfillment, not just in my life personally, but professionally in the lives of so many others. And so when that thought creeps in, I pivot. I tell myself the truth. I don't tell myself any more lies because I know neurologically, biologically, me as a human being, I was built to strive. And so when I get to that point, I'm sure I'll find something else to bitch about if I can't weed that part of my mindset out. If I cannot correct myself in that error, my son Walker will grow up very soon and he will be out of a diaper and he won't be shitting his pants anymore and blowing out in the middle of a restaurant or at the grocery store or in the line at some ride at Disneyland and I have to get out and go back to the hotel because we're out of diapers and come back and not get on Pirates of the Caribbean with my other 3 kids and my wife. Get what I'm saying? It's life-changing. Mindset is life-changing. True growth mindset is absolutely life-changing. It is life-changing for you in multifamily investing and growing a syndication business. It is life-changing in every aspect of your life as a leader. But you don't know what you don't know. And that's why we're here, to become more competent, to know more so that we can be more and do more. And it's really not even about more. It's just about better. Live better. That's one of our taglines. That's our mission. Think bigger and live better. It's not live more. It's live better, right? We talk about this narrative of like more, but it's not always more. It's about better. We want a better life. We want a better business. And there are principles that produce that. When you stick to them, you thrive. When you stray away from those things, at some point it will catch up with you. Sometimes it catches up immediately, and sometimes it doesn't catch up to you until 6 months, 10 months, a year or 2 down the road. And then all hell breaks loose. Because your foundation is weak. So again, this is realization number 3 tonight. We've covered 3. It's not about you, right? Your life is just a byproduct of the stories you tell yourself. And then the third realization tonight that we're dropping again is you weren't made to arrive. You were made to strive. You weren't made to arrive. You were made to strive. So let's talk about this. Sustainable growth and amplifying your impact. That's the end game. That's what we're trying to help all of us, you do, is become competent in sustainable growth, systems for sustainable growth and impact. So there are a lot of things that are going to be required of you to be able to do that. But two of the most important are clarity and stamina. So clarity and stamina are 2 very crucial things that you will need as you continue forward to be able to, again, grow continuously as a person, as a leader in your life and in your business, and then stamina to be able to withstand all that opposition that will come. Because again, when you choose, and again, leadership is a choice. Being a leader is a choice. It's not a title. It doesn't come automatically because you were put in a position. Leadership is a choice. So if you are choosing to be a leader, which all of you are, you're going to need clarity and you're going to need stamina. Right? There are 2 things that I have found to be 2 of the highest contributing factors to clarity, continuous clarity, and stamina in my life and in the lives of other people. We're not going to dive into the data. We're not going to dive into the research because that will bore you to death. We're not going to talk about numbers, but I can promise you there's been plenty of studies over the course of history around these things. And those 2 of the highest contributing factors are your physical and mental well-being. Your physical and mental well-being will contribute to, again, your ability to provide yourself with clarity throughout the duration of your existence and growth journey, and improve your stamina because that is crucial. Stamina is crucial. Again, opposition is going to surmount. Opposition is going to build up. As you up the ante, as you up your goals, opposition will surmount. You will need these 2 things. So what I wanted to do tonight is give you guys a framework. I call it the 3-3-3 framework. And it's something that I've implemented in my own life and helped thousands of other people implement throughout the course of my career. And I want to give it to you guys tonight. Okay? Extremely valuable because, again, physical and mental well-being are everything when it comes to clarity and stamina. And clarity and stamina are everything to, again, continuous growth, amplifying your impact. Now, the goal with the 3-3-3 framework, or the goal in general regarding systems, the process, love for the process, right? That's the topic, the process, loving the process. Systems and non-negotiables, those are components of the process, right? Goals are components of the process. But the overarching aim of tonight is not to give you something so complex or complicated that burnout is inevitable. I mean, if I ask you guys to raise your hand and share stories of how complicated things have been in your life leading up till now when you've tried to do something, you could all share a specific story about either a diet that you implemented that didn't work, or some type of workout regimen that didn't work, or a business that failed, or whatever it was. And a lot of the times that's just due to the fact that whatever you dove into, it was too complicated to sustain. It was too complicated to deliver on sustainably and for a long period of time. And because of that, what did you do? You either burned out or you gave up. Simplicity is your friend. Complexity, rigidity in the process of growth enemy. Rigidity and complexity are enemies. Simplicity is your friend. And the crazy thing about it is your brain will try to complicate things on purpose because your brain's job is to protect you. And so anything outside of the norm, we're creatures of habit, right? Like that is what's going to happen. And so just being conscious of that and working hard to get simple on something is a very valuable thing. It's a very valuable strategy. It will pay dividends forever. And simple is hard. To get to simple is hard. Simple is powerful. Simple is extremely productive. Isn't it the same cycle for everything else though? It's like everything that's great in life is hard, right? Like creating an awesome, happy, wonderful home environment, that's hard. Creating a thriving business that supports the lives of all of its employees and all the people you serve and creating amazing products, like those things are hard to do. So is simplicity. It is hard to get to simple. That's why it's worth working your butt off to get to it. And so what I want to do is hopefully, again, the overarching goal tonight is like create some simplicity for you around these things regarding systems and non-negotiables that you can take and you can plug in to your own life to, again, increase your physical or enhance your physical and mental well-being, because those two things are two of the highest contributing factors to clarity and stamina. All right, so let's dive in. There's a daily, weekly, and monthly component to this. That's where the 333 comes from. And I want to share some details to it, okay? So some non-negotiables for me regarding my daily practices, and this is a system I use, it's very simple. 60 to 90 minutes of daily physical exercise. I don't follow a rigid program. I have during segments of my time when I have certain goals. But look, you guys are like me. You have families. I just heard, gosh dang, I forgot the name, and I actually didn't forget it. It's like on the tip of my tongue, but it's a difficult name from Oahu. Say it one more time.
Kekai.
Say it one more time. I'm missing the front part of it.
Kekai.
Kekai. Is that right? With a K in the front? Okay. I hate butchering names. I apologize if I ever butcher any of your names.
Oh, it's for the real thing. So Kekai. Yeah.
Kekai. I love it. Okay. So 4 kids. Rigidity, complexity within the dynamics and environment that you are in every single day will not work. It doesn't work. And look, at the end of the day, we have to be real with ourselves. Am I here or am I at a level where I am an endurance athlete and a business owner of multiple businesses and all these other things? No, that's not the reality of most of our situations. Most of our situations are, well, I mean, there's a variance, but we just have to be real with ourselves within the variance of what our current situation is. And again, simplicity is your friend. When it comes to growth and impact, simplicity is your friend. And so 60, 90 minutes physical exercise, I have gym pass, I go to the gym, I'm on a sequence where I just rotate it around. Trying to get stronger right now. Generally speaking, I'm just trying to get stronger. Increase my endurance. 2, at least 25 minutes of studying meaningful topics in alignment with my pursuits. My pursuits might be different than your pursuits. Yeah, we share some common themes, but I can guarantee you my pursuits are very unique to me in comparison to one individual on this call. And so you have to take that into account. What are your meaningful pursuits? And my bedtime window is 9:30 to 10:15. Why? Because I am a fan of mornings for me. I love mornings. Mornings work for me. I'm my best in the morning. I understand that's not like a hard set rule for every single human being on the face of planet Earth, and I would never tell you who you are. I'm telling you that this is my framework. It works for me because I am a morning person. Mornings are my friend. I win the morning. That's what I do. It works for me. So the reason I get to bed within that window is because that makes me optimal and primed to get up at the time I need to get up. My non-negotiables for my weekly practices. Again, simplicity. I do an outside workout 3 times a week. I just recently started taking my row machine outside, which is super fun. I put it in my backyard and I just roll in the backyard for 45 minutes. But outside of that, I go for hikes, put some weight in my backpack, and a lot of time I just go for a run. Number 2, 28 plus hours of quality family time a week. Now that might sound like a lot to some people, but the truth is I'm up for 16 hours a day. That's 4 hours a day with my family. Honestly, it's not enough. I have 4 kids. Weekends, taking weekends into account and really, increasing the quality time and the quantity of time that I spend with my kids on the weekends, right? Like 4 hours a day, boom, I've got to deliver on that. That's an hour in the morning during breakfast time where we're reading scriptures, getting ready for school, whatever it is. And then when I get out of work at 6 o'clock, from 6 to 9, it's nothing but family. What function we go into? How can I support? How can I be involved? How can I love on these guys as much as I possibly can and still believe in them? And then 3 is just 1 full day away from my phone. Now, there should be an asterisk there because I do get on my phone Sunday mornings, typically. But for the most part, on Sundays, for me, that's the Sabbath. And that is dedicated to re-energizing, refueling, filling up my tank, getting ready to roll for a whole nother week. And just disconnecting. I got to disconnect, right? Disconnect to reconnect. Reconnect to my purpose. Reconnect to God's plan for me and what it is I'm supposed to be doing. Spiritually, reconnect with my spirit. Whatever those things are for you, that's what I do. And I have to do those things if I'm going to be my best. And if clarity is the game, I've got to have that. I've got to have that. So those are my weekly practices. And then my monthly practices, I at least one time, I disconnect to reconnect. And what I mean by that is one time a month, I will go for a full day excursion of being up in the mountains, being by myself, and just contemplating my purpose, the nuances of my journey, what has come up, what opportunities exist. Look, you've got to have flexibility, right? It's a non-linear path. Growth is a non-linear path. You cannot predict every single solitary thing that's going to pop up in your journey. And again, if opportunities are endless, gosh, you got to be super selective on which ones you jump on. Because if you're doing everything, you're doing nothing. You got to create that space. So for me, that's how I do it. luckily for me, I live in a pretty accessible place where there's beautiful mountains, and I'm literally there in my backyard in 5 seconds. You got to work hard for that, though, depending on where you live. So, I mean, and it can look different for each person. Number 2, 4 to 6 days of dedicated contribution to my community. I typically serve a young men's group. We just recently went, if anybody follows me on Instagram, we just recently went out to Moab and went on a remote river rafting trip for 2.5 days, 40 miles on the Green River. It was freaking unbelievable. I had no cell phone service, which was cool. But it was just poured into them. You know, these guys are 16, 17, 18 years old, getting ready to take on the world. If you don't think that fills your tank up, you're full of shit. That you talk about contribution and connection, you got to make time for those things, and you will be better for your business because of it. You will be better within your purpose and your mission because of those things. And then at least one new experience. That's one of our family values. We drive that home with our kids, right? We've got Pruitt family values, and it's up in our hallway, and it's new experiences. Pruitt's value new experiences. So my wife and I, we try to lead out with that one time a month. This looks like going to a play we've never been to before, a musical, like something outside of our comfort zone. That's not outside of my wife's comfort zone. And to be honest with you, you guys might not think it, but like I like musicals. So, you know, you might not see that in me, I guess, but I freaking love musicals. But restaurants, like random places that we found reviews of up in Salt Lake, or, you know, somewhere where it's just like a little staycation, just something to light us up and increase our perspective on life, give us new experience so that we can learn. Again, Rick, you talked about valuing learning and being passionate about learning. Like, gosh, dude, if you truly are passionate about learning, like what are you doing to gain new experience? Like, are those words, are those empty words, or do you have a system that proves that and helps you do more of that because you are so passionate about it, right? And again, simplicity across the board on all of this, it's so important. And so those are my daily, weekly, and monthly systems to enhance and just better my physical and mental well-being. And the reason I do that is because of the data. Physical and mental well-being are two of the highest contributing factors to clarity and stamina. Look, if I have an end game in life, if my goal for striving is to grow and amplify my impact that I have on other people, then I have a responsibility to get clarity regularly. I have a responsibility to, again, improve my stamina. And I've got to know what's going to be able to do that. So I dive into that and I create simplicity around that. Simple is easy. Simple is powerful. Complexity sucks. It creates burnout. You desist, you give up. If it's too complex, break it down. Again, we've got to build our foundations properly within anything we're building. And just a heads up, you're building you. Like, you're creating your life, you're creating you. And so you've got to build that foundation properly. And again, that impacts your business, that impacts everything. That's the starting point of great things that last, not just great things that go up in a poof of smoke and disappear. I wanted to add this. I have a never do list. If you listen to the drip, I actually shared some of this today at a very simple level, like a very brief level. But the never do list for me is actually, there's more to my never do list. I didn't even share these details on the never do list today on the drip, but there are some things that are non-negotiables. Again, we use the term non-negotiable, and that means like a hard set rule, right? And you've got to be careful with what you define as non-negotiables, because if you're rigid with too many things, right? Like, what are you going to do? You're going to infringe on that non-negotiable, right? And when you infringe on that non-negotiable, and you're not disciplined on that non-negotiable, right? What do you think that does for your confidence? You infringe on that non-negotiable. You say you're going to do something and then you don't do it, or you say you're not going to do something and you do it and you do it and you do it. All you're doing is proving to yourself over and over and over again that you don't keep your word. You don't do what you say you're going to do. And so it's crazy, and it's been a learning process for me even, to be extremely careful about what I throw out of my mouth, because we get big eyes, right? Like, we even get a big head, and I don't mean a big head in terms of ego. We have ideas, we have these things we want to do, and we know we can do. But then the reality of our bandwidth, the reality of our situation kicks in, and we're like, oh, and then we feel like, anxious and stressed, and like, oh my gosh, I can't function because like there's all these things I want to do, but I can't do them all. And you can hear it in my voice because I experience it myself, right? So we have to be really conscious and careful about what we say we're going to do. And so when I say never do list, I mean, I'm confidently saying like, this is a hard set rule. And what's crazy is when it started, it was pretty small. When I started my never do list, it was pretty small. But the impact on my confidence, or the influence on my confidence that never do list had when I delivered on one or two things, it was unbelievable for my self-confidence. It was unbelievable for momentum, because if I can do this, then man, with time, like, this becomes habit. And now that this is a habit, I don't even have to think about it. Oh, if I don't even have to think about it, then I can think about something new to integrate into this list, and I can get better. It's amazing how that works. And so for me, it's watch the news. It's just something I'm not going to do. Hell, I have a hard time jogging on the treadmill. I have to go jog outside. I try to jog on the treadmill at the gym, but there's like 70,000 screens at the gym up there, and everybody's just like do looking at the news, and I'm like, I can't even watch the news. Like, this is not good. This is a no go. This is wrong go. This is non-negotiable for me. And so it's forced me to get outside even more, which is awesome. Like, what a benefit, right? Answer emails or other messages before 8 a.m. Get on my phone before 8 a.m. Go on a trip without a book, a highlighter, and a pen. I always have it with me, always. Leave my house without hugging my kids and kissing my wife goodbye. But these are things that are non-negotiable for me that I deliver on 100% of the time. Almost 100% of the time. And when I do, I'm quick to give myself grace and move forward. But again, I'm not delivering on these things uber consistently. Because if I was, I'd probably drop it from my never do list because I do not want to have a detrimental impact to my self-confidence. If I've done something there, I've probably bit off more than I can chew, and I need to dial in whatever it is I'm not sticking to, right? I need to dial that back a hair so that I can build up some stamina, so I can build up some discipline. And so, again, a never do list is just a bonus that I've added on here tonight because I think it's an extremely productive thing for you to implement system-wise in your own life. So again, the actionable, I know we're over time, but I took the prompting and invite and we ran with it. Actionable for this month is define your non-negotiables and come up with a system for yourself in regards to this 3-3-3 framework. These are things that work for me, but this is a plug and play. Create your 3 daily practices. Create your 3 monthly or your 3 weekly practices. Create your 3 monthly practices. You can take this a step further. Quarterly practices. I have quarterly practices with my kids. Hey, we go on outings, dad outings, 1 a quarter. 1 kid, 1 a quarter. I have 4 kids, so it just kind of mathematically calculates out perfect. You'll have to dial your numbers in and figure out what those ratios are. But systems are what allow us to rise to the occasions. Systems are what allow us to rise to our goals. We think so much about the goal, and it's talked so heavily about goals, but the reality is the goal provides aim. The thing that actually helps you make progress, grow, and create impact and eventually get there, right to that North Star, is a sound operating system. And that is an ongoing process of development. And that's why these calls are so valuable. And that's why this network is so valuable. And that's why growth mindset and the process and everything we break down here on a regular basis is so valuable. It's because, again, we weren't meant to arrive to any one destination. We were freaking built to strive and grow. That's literally our job. Neurologically, biologically, that's why I feel so good when we're doing it, is because that's how we're built. That's our chemical makeup. That's our genetic makeup. And so the more we know, the more competent we become, the better we can do and the better life we can have and the more people we can serve. It all just adds up. So again, what I want you guys to do this month, and we're going to dial this back in and come back to it, is create some systems and define your non-negotiables. 3 daily practices, 3 weekly practices, 3 monthly practices, and a never do list. The 3-3-3 framework. It's yours to take and implement so that you can, again, ultimately grow, sustainably grow, long-term, and create long-term impact, not just boom and done. That's not what we're striving to do here, okay? And just a reminder as we close out, right? Growth is strategic. It happens by design, not by luck. I'm so grateful for you all. It is a blessing in my life and one of my greatest responsibilities to be able to be here every single month and do this work. Because at the end of the day, there's nothing that makes me happier than seeing leaders live freely, think freely, create freely, and grow and create impact in their lives and then amplify that impact incrementally over the course of time. There is nothing that brings me more joy. I'm very passionate about that. I'm very passionate about you. And if you need anything from any of us, Jackson, myself, or any of us here at MFM, you know where to find us. So appreciate everybody's involvement this month. Also, as we close out, thanks to all of you that speak up. And we're going to continue to do a lot more of it. So come prepared and don't be shy. You don't know the impact that impact has on all of us and the value that it brings. So, Jax, I'll leave you to close out.
Brother, thank you so much, man. So appreciate you, your guidance, your wisdom, and your teaching abilities, and all of us that get a benefit from it, my man. So thank you so much for being here and just being the person that you are. And for those of you that are involved in our coaching program as well, join us. Make sure you join us next week for our coaching call at the same time. Next Tuesday, we're going to be on with Jay Carter going over investor relation systems. So definitely don't miss out for that. And then also for some of y'all that were at Dallas did mention some people were asking where the podcast is at. I'm going to go ahead and put that in the chat right now as well. So if you want to listen to the podcast, get involved with the podcast, which you should, you can find it right there in that link. Go in there and listen to Dallas Daily Drips Monday through Thursday, and then Aloha Friday with myself and Tyler Deverell. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Like Dallas said, if there's anything we can do for y'all, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can email me directly, Jackson@themultifamilymindset.com, or email support@themultifamilymindset.com as well. We love y'all, and we appreciate y'all. Have a great rest of your night. Have a great month. I love that this call ended or happened to fall on the first. It's the best. So go have a great month, everybody. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Please let us know if there's anything we can do for you. Take care, y'all.